Good day, everyone, and welcome to When the Shift Hits the Fan. I'm here, my name is Mark Jeffrey. I'm here with my co-host, the gorgeous Linda Lehman. And tonight, whenever you're hearing us, we are going to be talking about the faults in your perceptions. And we talked a little bit about this on our past shows. But we want to delve into the mind gym and give you some tools that you can use that is really going to help you move through space and time and accelerate how you build yourself up. You know, and actually, Linda, really it's them becoming their own personal life coach.
Oh, exactly. We have these wonderful mental muscles available to us, and all we have to do is tap into them and exercise them. I know it sounds simple, and I guess the solution is simple, but it may not be easy, and that's what we're here for.
Exactly. Sometimes it's not easy. So we're going to talk about the different kinds of perceptions they have, or that you may have, that people have, that are knocking them off their axis. So let's just dive in here and talk about this, because this is the thing. Your perception is your reality. There's no way, like nobody, let's look at it this way, Linda. Nobody can argue with your perception, right?
Exactly, because it is yours. It's like that, I don't know, it's kind of like that game that you play when you're little. You sit in a circle and somebody says something and it whispers it into the next person's ear, and then it goes around, and by the time it finishes, it's not anything like what it started out to be. And that's because everyone heard the story or the sentence from their own perception, and then that's what they passed along to somebody else.
Right. And that's the thing. But that's what you really have to get your feet grounded on this. Your perceptions are your reality. So if you're not in a space where you want to be, you're going to have to start looking at some things. And we're going to run through them here today and perhaps help you understand this just a little bit better. So here's what you get to do. All of us, every single one of us. If we change our story, we're going to change our perceptions, and we are simply going to change our lives. So, Linda, if my story, getting up every single day is, oh, woe is me, I'm so hard done by, I'm never going to get ahead. What's my perception?
Your perception is you're never going to get ahead. You don't feel like the universe is working for you. You're telling this bad, sad story. And as much as you may longingly look out the window and think, I wish my life was different, as long as you tell this story, then this story is all you're going to get. And so this world that you see around you is actually colored by your own perception of the world around you.
Exactly. So, and we all get caught up in our stories, right? Mm-hmm. But here's what, and we talked about this, considerable last show about it's not necessarily our stories. They've been given to us by other people. So that's the other part of the disconnect. It's like, I don't know, if somebody told you enough times that you're ugly, well, you're going to be ugly.
Uh-huh.
Right?
You have no,
yeah. You have no choice in that, right? You're going to believe it. It's your perception. But if someone else came along and said, you're the most gorgeous person I've ever met, the first thing that's going to run in through your head is, no, I'm ugly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're lying. What do you want?
Yeah.
They're up to something. You're going to be very suspicious, and you're not going to believe it because it was, Mark, key here is it was repetition of those early habits, the early perceptions that got them planted deeply into your subconscious mind in the first place. And so it's not going to be a one-time shot to get it out of there. It's like when people, a little off track here, but I love personal growth programs. And I think that they all have their place in helping all of us grow and find more out about ourselves. But absolutely none of the programs, none of the books, nothing is a one-time shot. And I know in school we're taught, we read a book, we take a test on it, we pass the test, we move on. But when you're really wanting to dig deeply into, number one, seeing what you're made of, or number two, changing what you see because maybe you don't like what you see, changing those perceptions, it's going to be a repetitive process. Whether you're reading a book or whether you're doing a program or even whether you've signed up with a mentor or a coach, it's going to take repetition. So that one person telling you you're pretty or you're beautiful or you're the most gorgeous person I've ever met, that one time isn't going to dig out that old perception that you have of yourself of being ugly. It's going to take repetition. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be repetition of somebody else telling you. It really, to sink in, needs to be the repetition of you telling yourself over and over and over again.
That's right. So you have an opportunity. Each and every one of us has an opportunity to sit down and write our own story. But that's, I guess, the first exercise that we're going to give you here today is if you could write, because we know right now you feel like you can't in many ways, write your own story. But if you could, what would you write? Start writing it down. So now comes this. Decisions, decisions, decisions. I hate decisions. See, we just made you do something, right? And you're not going to want to do it.
Exactly, but everything starts with a decision. Even no decision is a decision.
Exactly. So you have to start. But here's the thing. And if you don't make the decision, you know those people we were just talking about that wrote the story for you, they're going to keep writing. So it gets really simple here. And that's the thing. Do you honestly trust everybody else, parents, friends, teachers, the guy at the grocery store, the old lady at the bus stop? Do you honestly trust them to have your best interest in mind? Well, I'm thinking not. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about those killer perceptions. And these are killing you. These are killing you softly. Every day that this happens, that you have these perceptions, is killing you softly. So let's go through them, Linda.
Okay, let's do it.
I am not worthy.
You know, that's probably one of the number one perceptions. And you may not even be telling yourself, I'm not worthy, but you're giving yourself excuses like, I'm too old, I'm not good enough, I can't do it because nobody else in my family did it. You're going back, and this is what you're saying. You're saying, I'm not worthy. But we have an opportunity to shift that, to change it, and say something that will be more beneficial to us. We can say, I am worthy of love and prosperity, and then feel it.
Mm-hmm. And you have to get out your journals. You have to start writing down, why do you feel that way? You know, and again, we're going to go, is that true? Mm-hmm. You know, is it true just because somebody said it, right? It's like anything else in life. Oh, that's a great opportunity. Is it true? We have to check that out. So here's one, too, that I think people repeating things, right? I've always made bad choices. I'll give you one that you guys probably aren't thinking about. Like we think about bad choices like relationships, picking the wrong guys, stuff like that. But here's something else. Many of us went to college, and we might have, going into college, picked something that we found out later, wasn't quite our thing, right? So instead of changing horses in the middle of the stream because you had so much invested, you just kept going with it. And so that actually created, like we talk about all the time, Linda, right, a habit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it didn't quite work out for you, but you didn't die from it, but are you happy about it?
Exactly, Mark. I mean, forgive the bad choices,
Mm-hmm.
because they're showing you the direction that you don't want to go, or the life you don't want to live, or the path you don't want to take. So instead of berating yourself that you make bad choices, instead, change that. And I love what we have here, that, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm doing exactly what I should be doing. In other words, lighten up on yourself. Give yourself a break. Don't beat yourself up over a choice that maybe didn't work out, or a choice that you made because you were making it for somebody else instead of yourself. Forgive it. There's a lesson in there to be learned. Learn the lesson and realize that you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah. How you got there, some people criticize the path, and you shouldn't ever do that. Sometimes it's a straight shot from here to success, and sometimes you're wandering aimlessly in the desert. And then what did that bring you? So much pain and agony, and so much knocked your confidence out, made you feel crappy. You can never be great.
It's time to change that. This is the glorious part about all of this, Mark, is we have the opportunity to change. We have the opportunity to tell this new story. All we have to do is realize that we can, and then, as you said, get the journal out and start writing it down. You know what? I love and accept myself. I don't know how many times, if somebody were to get my journal and peek in it, I am always writing, I appreciate and love myself.
Well, yeah, because sometimes all of us need to be, because we get beat down by the world. We do. You go out, and Linda and I, we both work in the corporate world as well, and online in our businesses. Man, if you knew how many times we both get rejected in a day for some reason or another, like you walk out there, you think it's like, I'm all that in a bag of chips, and somebody just crunches the bag. You need a place to rebound from instead of crawling back in the bag and saying, hit me again. So love yourself, accept yourself. We're not perfect. So here's our next one, because we were just talking about success. So now you get out of there and you're up there and you're going, yeah, I'm all that. Here I go. Now you think everybody hates you. And that is the biggest, boldest lie that has ever been told. Linda, right?
Absolutely. How do you know what somebody else is thinking anyway? And why does it matter to you what somebody else thinks? It's really none of your business. I know a person who will make a million excuses not to move forward in their own life, but these excuses are wrapped around what their perception of somebody else is and what they think that they're going to apply back to them. I know that sounds like a circle, but it's exactly what we're saying here is you're afraid that if you're successful at something, then all of these other people might hate you. But what if? Let's turn it around. Let's play that what if game for ourselves. What if they've just been waiting to support you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? If you just look for that support, you're going to get it.
Yeah. Look for the support. And sometimes people don't say things in the right way. I mean, parents are especially like that, and even sometimes best friends, because they have that caution, right? You're going to jump into an endeavor or do something, and they, oh, have you thought of this? And, oh, have you thought of that? And pretty soon something happens inside you too, because maybe you have thought of those things, and maybe you were impulsive, but you still feel that it's right. You're going to start second guessing everything, and you're going to feel like, well, maybe I haven't looked at all the angles, but maybe they're just being supportive in their own way, and sometimes you have to give them that too. Just say, yeah, you know what I have? I'm glad you support me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to, they might be saying things in the wrong way, but still being support for you. So we have to look at that. And not everybody's going to hate you. Trust me, I'm successful. I don't have haters.
Nope, me neither.
True story.
And you know what? The friend base that I have is awesome. They support
Well,
me.
and that's the thing. We collect friends that support us. It just kind of happens, right?
Right.
Here's my favorite one. This is all to the women of the world. To the women of the world who they hate their bodies. You know what? If you had the perfect, whatever you think the perfect body is, and somebody popped off your head and stuck it on that body, it still wouldn't be good enough. Because your head, whatever's in your head, that's the wrong. Your body, it's just doing what your head is saying. If you're overeating because you're lonely, you're not exercising, not eating the right foods because, I'm too lazy to go shopping for them, we can come up with, we could probably come up with more excuses for this and then still hate our body when our body's going, dude, it wasn't my fault.
Exactly. Your body is saying, hey, I'm just trying to support you. I'm giving you what you're asking for.
Yeah. So, but there's the thing. We can always change that. We can all get in better shape. We can, get muscle tone because we're too skinny. We can change our bodies. And just like we can change our mind. Once your head says, I love myself, I'm the most magnificent person that there is, I can't believe my body's so awesome, your body's going to go, yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet. You're going to be even more awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It'll happen. I know you don't believe it right now. I know you don't believe it, but it's going to happen for you. So the fault, my friends, those are all the perceptions. They're in your thoughts. And we just talked about that, and we're sliding down this little slippery slope here pretty fast today. But this is where it's going. We're talking to you. These are perceptions, and they're not real. Okay? Boom. I don't know. I guess I let the cat out of the bag. Linda, perceptions aren't real. But they are your reality until you change them. And the fault is in your thoughts. So, first thing we're going to tell you is don't believe everything you think. Don't believe everything that other people think. What other people think of you is none of your business. We could go on for an hour and a half on this one. But we're not. We just want you to write down in your journal, I don't believe everything I think. Unless it's good, and then you want better and more of that.
Exactly.
Let's talk about that. I can't do this. It's too hard.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorites. My dad used to say, never did anything when I'd try to come up with that one. But you can do it. You can do anything you set your mind to. So change the program. Instead of listening to that thought, I can't do this, change it. Say, I am doing it. And I do love me. Just be positive. Mark, why do we spend so much time beating ourselves up? Why don't we spend that energy on pumping ourselves up instead?
It's really funny because I've been studying this quite a bit now in different people that I've been coaching. And it's really interesting because I have a really weird trigger inside of me too, is that I have said to myself, I can't do this. Like, this is way too scary for me. I can't do this. But a switch gets flipped when I do something like that, going, okay, why? It's just automatic for me now. But it wasn't. It was just, I can't do this, and I'm going to find a different way. I'd walk around it. But it was still getting it done. But inside me, I thought I was copping out, right? I just thought, you didn't face that. You went around it. But here's the thing. I got it done. And so for a long time, I thought to myself, you copped out. You should have just done something, whatever it is, right? But I was still getting it done. And I think sometimes, Linda, we don't give ourselves enough credit for that, for taking the half step when we were pinned to the floor 3.5 seconds ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have got to notice the progress that we've made. People hear me say this all the time. Celebrate the wins, no matter how small that they are. Give yourself credit. Give yourself a pat on the back. And if you have to step back and take a few nice, big, deep breaths, and you know what? Compliment yourself on being able to notice what was going on and take that step back and take those deep breaths. That's an accomplishment. And that's going to help you focus and take you further in the direction that you want to go, just because you've cleared the garbage and now you can focus on what you want.
Yeah, and we're telling you to make that shift here, and how you're reframing things. If it comes up for you, and I can't do this, just replace that immediately. I'm doing this. Nope, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. And as many times, and yeah, like Linda said, take those deep breaths and go, I'm calm about it. I'm doing this. I got this. And you will get it. You'll just get it. You'll just, with that power, your feet are going to move. Your feet are going to move. So it's going to be awesome. I mean, I can't wait to hear from people, Linda. They're listening to this right now and send us messages about, doing whatever it was that was stopping them and actually going ahead and getting it done. And I'm really excited about that, because it sounds like we said they're simple, but we also recognize they're going to be hard to do. But here's what happens. When you don't make the decisions, we talked about that, you're gambling with your life. You're gambling. But see, a gambler's fallacy is this, is that what's going to happen in the future is predicted by what happened in the past. And, that's like on a roulette wheel, right? Somebody will say, might hit, what's on the reds? Reds or blacks? I don't know, pick an analogy I know nothing about. Way to go, Mark. But so it hits red, 6 times. You think, oh, okay, well, it's got to be black, right? It's just, it's got to be black now. We're out of reds. And so you bet the corn on it and end up that, oh, it's red again. There's nothing that things are random. Things are just simply random. And if you do that inside your mind, is that what happened in the past isn't necessarily predicting my future. And things can be random. It's okay. My luck can change. I mean, it can go both ways. I get it. It can go bad. We can have a bad day. But that doesn't predict that we're going to have a bad life. We can have a bad day in a marriage, but it's not going to be the rest of our lives. It's going to be a crappy marriage and we have to get a divorce.
Exactly. It truly is in our hands. And, when we start letting go of the past and realize that it has no way to influence our future unless we allow it to, then, Mark, there's that power again that we've been talking about. There's that power that we can take forward into what we really want. I mean, guys, you really do have your beautiful, magnificent future right here in front of you in your hands. You just have to let go of the garbage from the past.
Exactly. So your subconscious switch up on this one is I am able to change any outcome. That's your switch up, my friends. Flip the script. Okay, so this one here is something that a lot of people don't even talk about in this way. Okay, some people would think this actually belongs in an electrical current physics class, but that's not the way I want to talk about it today. It's when you, and it is AC/DC, right? What I'm saying is you react differently in public or when other people are around than you do when you're by yourself. And so you might put on the false face of pretending you're happy and you're really not. And then when you're in by yourself, you break down. Or you're an entrepreneur and you go out and, yes, I do all of this every day and this is how I make my money and blah, 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 and go home and eat popcorn and watch TV. Mm-hmm. This is what the reality of you is what you have to work on. So it's like we talk about this, is when no one's looking, the mere time, this is what I'm talking about here. The reacting to different things or being the essence of the real you. And this is probably going to be the toughest thing because we're used to that. We're used to, right, from when we're little, right? Mm-hmm. They won't let you go to school in your diapers. You have to get dressed up to go to school. You have to be somebody other than you are, right?
Right.
We're conditioned for that.
Wouldn't the world be a marvelous place if we all tapped into our true selves and that's what we presented to the world all the time?
Well, yeah, and not be afraid of it. Like, I'm such a big goofball, like, but who I am, people that meet me go, oh my gosh, you're exactly like that. I can't live with someone else because I have a hard time keeping up with myself to invent another one. Like, that's just too much work.
It is too much work. Or the Popeye said, I am what I am.
Yeah, exactly. So I know we make light of it. We know that this is tough because, again, you're conditioned to do this. Put on your best face. Chin up, all of that stuff. If you want, all of that conditions us to be someone other than we are. But you know what? Get straight with who you are. Your chin's going to be up anyways. There you go. That's what I have on that. So let's talk about this because this runs right into the next one. Self-fulfilling prophecy.
We're all psychics. Because when we look at something new and we start ticking off all of the bad things that are going to happen if we try this and we do it anyway, and ta-da, we were right. The bad things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why?
We made it that way. Linda, I got something here. Why this is interesting. Why do you think that people believe all the bad stuff that's going to happen and they just pounce right on that? But the good stuff they walk right by like it was like, that didn't have anything to do with me. Mm-hmm. But the bad stuff's all on them.
You know what? It's all that conditioning, Mark. It's the kid thing. Don't get your hopes up too high.
Oh, I hated that one.
Don't expect it. Or one of my other favorites, I don't want to tell you about this job opportunity because I'm afraid if I say it out loud, it won't come true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boy, we could go on and on there.
On and on, yeah. Whole show could be done on this one too. But the thing is, and we talk about this, like Linda says this all the time. If it's true, it must be true 100% of the time. So a self-fulfilling prophecy cannot be just bad. So you're going to have to tune in to things that are good too. And like we said, celebrate it. Congratulate yourself. You had a hand in that too. I know that sometimes, though, if you're tuned into your intuition, you'll feel the shift in the air when things are not vibing with you in accordance with where you're going. Because, I see trouble a mile off. And luckily I do because a lot of the time I can avert it. And I talk about this all the time about feeling a little punky. So I immediately change my diet, get more sleep. I do things immediately, react to it so I don't get sick. I always say that. I don't get sick, but I kind of do. I just avert it quicker than what most people do. Mm-hmm. And other things that, if there's somebody that I'm out and it's interesting, when I'm talking on the stage, I can actually see people in the audience. They're almost like beacons on them, people that are not vibing with what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Like you can develop your intuition really, really well, but I also see and understand and feel and want all the better things. So your self-fulfilling prophecy can be good, bad, or ugly. We want you to weigh in on the good side. But again, if you're developing this skill, and you do see things coming at you that are not going to serve you, man, stomp on them right now. So
Yep. Step
that's
aside.
what I have on that one.
Well, I mean, we'll go back to your self-fulfilling prophecy, the energy that it takes to rattle off everything that could happen wrong with it. You can shift that energy and start thinking about all the things that are going to be great when this happens. The good stuff happens. So switch it.
Yep, switch it up, flip it. Okay, this is one that's really interesting for me. This is when you become something and it spills over onto other people, places, and things, and they give it back to you. And then they're the bad guys, but you started it. So, you can't have the halo on and the little devil ears. You started it.
I remember one day, this was quite a while ago, it was, I think one of my daughters was staying at our house for a little bit, and some reason that day, it's just like everybody around me was grouchy. And you know what, Mark? I stopped about, I don't know, midday through, and I thought, why is everybody around me grouchy? And I realized I was grouchy. I was putting out grouchy, and they were giving it right back to me. So when I realized, I took the moment to realize it, I went and did a little bit of alone time, a little meditation, got my energy up in a positive manner. When I came back out, it was as if I switched out all the people, because then everybody was giving me back the good positive vibe that I was then putting out there. It all starts with you. It starts with me.
Yeah. It does, and there's things sometimes that we may do that we don't even recognize. I know that a lot of people at one point would go, oh, watch out for Mark. Mark's in a bad mood today. I'm going, what are you talking about? Like, no. But I just realized if I'm not smiling, I look kind of like grouchy. Like I just have that kind of a face. So I have to make a conscious effort. And when I'm concentrating, I kind of squint my eyes and I get the little furrow. And even when I'm trying to focus on somebody, I kind of look at them like that, and I'm going, oh, they're probably, perceiving that as, oh, whatever I'm saying, she's not believing. I'm just focusing. So there's stuff like that goes on where I reflected myself on somebody else, and again, they reacted in a way that was unexpected to me because I didn't realize I was making that scrunchy face. So it happens.
It does.
So in that, here's an interesting fact that I threw in here. It's physical attractiveness. This is when people think that when people are better looking, they get more stuff, that they don't ever have to work as hard for it. And in some cases, I'm going to validate that. In some cases, that could be true, but you're wrong. So,
it goes back to perception. I mean, that's the way some people are perceiving physically attractive people.
Well, it's that too. Yeah, but that's an excuse that you can come up, well, I don't get ahead in life, or I didn't get that job because she was more pretty than I was.
Exactly.
I don't think more pretty is a word either, but,
it's our show.
Yeah, there you go. Anyways, you all got that. So, that's the type of thing we can use that as an excuse as well. That, no. I mean, people do liken to people who are outwardly friendly, okay? That's what people are attracted to, people who are smiling, people who have good hygiene, people that actually took the time to brush their hair, brush their teeth in the morning. People do accept them more than someone who stinks and doesn't look like they care about themselves. But in the natural course of things, the most beautiful people, you read about them all the time. Look at all these Hollywood stars and all the hell they live in. I don't want their life.
No.
Do you think that's, and again, is that true 100% of the time? Nope. Right?
Not at all.
So, just a little interesting fact in there, my friends. And don't you think those dogs are cute?
I think they're adorable.
So here's the one that is one of my favorites to hate on is herd mentality. You know what? It frustrates me I can't even speak about it.
Well, if everybody's doing it, it must be okay. I need to do it too. How much trouble have people all over the world gotten themselves into with this mentality?
And we learned this from when we were kids too, right?
Oh yeah,
we learned
be like
it.
everybody else.
Yeah, are you gonna, if Joel jumped off the bridge, are you gonna jump too?
Yeah.
You said yeah. Joe's going, I'm going.
Okay, yeah.
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 Our parents couldn't even put up the fence on that one, But this is dangerous, extremely dangerous. Not only for people personally, but as a country and a nation, it's dangerous.
Yeah, my mentor Bob Proctor used to always say, if you really want to succeed in life, if you want to be, part of that 1% that makes the biggest percentage of the money, look where everybody else is going and go the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm. Now this works in marketing. We want that to happen. Right? We want everybody to follow this. But in your personal life and different things like that, you really have to make different choices that are right for you despite where everybody's going.
Exactly.
And that's exactly right. Be a contrarian, be the person that is marching to their own, drum. And that's where you're going to have the best and most satisfaction in your life, because two things are going to happen. You're not going to be able to be an individual inside of that. And it's not going to satisfy you. I mean, that's the least of the problems. And beyond that, it can get real dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I have on those herds of people. And then the one thing, we talked a little bit about this a little bit earlier here, is the false escalation of commitment. And this is basically going with something that doesn't work and continuing to go with it just because you invested something. So it could be an entrepreneur bought a business, the business is failing, but because they invested $100,000 into it, they're not going to give up. They're just going to keep on going and losing more and more money. Or a bad relationship because they invested 10 years in a relationship, got 2 kids, well, we're just going to keep going with this. Even though nothing is really getting done to fix the problem, we're just going to go with it. Just keep banging your head against the wall. Because surely, somewhere along the line, the outcome's going to change.
Yep, and unfortunately, the outcome never changes until you make a change in either the direction or the things that you're doing. Isn't that Einstein's definition of insanity too? Doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results. Hello.
Yep. Yep. You don't have to have hair like his to get that.
No.
But that's another dangerous thing, is like we get invested in things, and because Linda and I work in the world of online marketing, and we have businesses and consult with people, this is one thing where people, you got to tread carefully with anything. It's like if you're going to start a business of any kind, whether it's a brick and mortar business, an online business, whatever it is, I don't care what it is, you need to be doing some research. Like, do I have the skills? If I don't have the skills, who can help me? I mean, we've gone through this on many of our other shows in our entrepreneurial part of this. So go back onto our site and read it, because you have to build that building blocks, because most people just jump right off the cliff, no parachute, no idea what's down there. No idea what's going to happen when they splat at the bottom. And you really need those things to be able to be successful. But it's the same thing with relationships. Like, how many do we know? Oh, I've dated for 2 weeks, we're getting married, and it lasts 3.5 hours after that. Mm-hmm. Well, gosh, did you not see that one coming? Apparently not. So these are our illusions, my friends. Mm-hmm. The illusions. So we do this a lot. Illusions are something that appears like it's not. And that can be you, okay? Go back, and we're talking about that. The unreal, the masked you, the person that's not real, this can be your illusion. And the problem with illusions, if they go on long enough, you believe them.
Right. They become true for you because that's the way beliefs are planted. The repetition. Hopefully you guys are getting that by now. It's
Yeah.
the repetition of information that makes something a habit and then makes it a belief.
Yeah. So and here are some little examples, and I think that will make you understand a little bit better. Is that things can look white, but if we change the lighting on them, they can look a little bit dingy, right? If we have bright light on something, things might look white, but you tone down the lights a little bit, and they look dingy. Or when we've just eaten cotton candy, and then we go and have, something else that's less sweet than that, it can seem really, really sour. Our perception and illusions, we have to take each and everything and let it stand on its own, okay, and decide. Like, for instance, let's say you failed at a business or failed at a relationship. This is what we're talking about, taking things into the future as well. And this is what I hated about things, is when dating and somebody says, that's just like my ex-girlfriend, or, I don't want to do that because when I was with my ex-girlfriend, it didn't work out for me. I'm not your ex-girlfriend. And so we do that with, like, I don't want to get that job because the last time I was in that job, people in that job are this way. These are all illusions and they're not true, and you need to really come to terms with stuff like that. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And this just kind of snowballed, you guys, from when we started this show. We're bringing you, through this so you can see it. And you have to see it in order for you to make any kind of adjustments on this. Because really, our thinking is all upside down and backwards.
Mark, I happen to know you made this slide. It must have been very challenging. Good job.
Yeah.
But, our thinking can be upside down and backwards a lot of the time, and we just need to step back and as we look at things that are in our world, in our circumstances, we need to start questioning them. As I say all the time, and we've said twice on the show, I think already, is it true?
Mm-hmm.
Is it 100% true all the time? And if the answer is no, then what you're perceiving is false. And perception is not a linear thing. It's multidimensional. So you can actually take a step back, look at something from a different angle, and it's going to look completely different to you. So if everything has an equal opposite, if you're looking at something and you don't like it, think about it a minute and say, okay, well, there's an opposite to this. Let me look for the opposite. Let me look for the good stuff in this. And, you may have to picture yourself walking around in a circle trying to find the opposite or the good, and you will find it if you look for it. That's why I tell people all the time when they want to lose weight, I said, no, because when you lose something, like if you lose your car keys, what's the first thing you do? You go looking for it. So instead of losing weight, maybe you want to release some weight instead.
Or totally banish it from the earth. I mean, that's the other option.
Well, yeah, that is too.
Yeah. But here's the thing. What this whole thing is about today is you are who you think you are. We are who we think we are. And if you're not happy, you're not content, you're not satisfied, you are the one that has to make the adjustments. There's nobody coming to save you. Okay? So we've got some tips for you that we want to share because this is really important. Your journal. We cannot stress enough how important this is. And even if you only wrote a sentence or two every day, one of the most important things for me for the journal is kind of like, one thing is just kind of getting my thoughts down sometimes because I can go at 1,000 miles an hour. But you're also going to be able to go back and see, because we talked about, allowing yourself to see your progress. This is one really good way to do it in black and white. In black and white.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and hey, by the way, Your 6th grade English teacher is not grading your journal, so you can just haphazardly start jotting thoughts down. It doesn't have to be in a complete sentence.
Yeah, and it can be little pictures. You know, I know one of the people that I coach is like she has little on the top of her thing, little smiley faces or little pouty faces, or she's got her little things that mean something to her. Shorthand, if you feel some people are reluctant to write in journals because they're going, oh well, somebody could get it one day and read it. Yeah, there's danger everywhere, Will Rogers. It's just, come on, if you're going to do this, people are going to appreciate the person that you are evolving into more than they're going to want to read your journal. And if they do read your journal, they're going to see the pain that you hold inside of you and that you are then trying to move out of it. And perhaps rather than ridiculing you, they would simply reach out their hand and say, how can I help? So you can't always look at the bad stuff either. And a part of this is coming to be really real with who we are. We're humans. We're going to make mistakes. I do it every day, many times in a day. If people were to judge me by my past, I, in some cases, might be even mortified that they would do that because, I didn't have the best life. So people can't, I don't allow people to do that. It's just, you can't judge me by my past. I will just simply say to that. And people have to, you can stop them in their tracks. And so it takes, I guess, Linda, it takes a lot of bravery and courage to make all of these changes. And God, don't do them all at once.
Oh, no.
Don't be trying to do that. You take one thing, just one thing, but make the commitment to start it right now. Listen to the rest of our show for the next couple of minutes and then do it right now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I guess a big, nice word of encouragement here. As you tackle that one thing you decide to work on, the glorious part about that is when you feel like you're done with that and you start looking for something else, you're going to realize how many other things have changed for the good in your life just by working on that one thing.
Exactly. Plan it out. And we're giving you that. You don't have, start. Okay, it's just starting. So if that's sitting down with your journal and just trying to figure out what it is that you even want. If you've walked down the wrong path for a long, long time, it's going to take you a long time to walk back again. It's not going to be an easy process. It's not an instant fix. It's just one of those things that working on ourselves takes some time. It's like when we're trying to release weight. It didn't get there overnight, so why we expect it to just get out of the house when you tell it to is way beyond me. That doesn't even make any sense. And that's where people get disillusioned, this pill make you lose 50 pounds overnight. It's not going to happen. The smart pill, the lose weight pill, the whatever, there's no pills out there. There are placebos maybe, because sometimes if you believe something enough, it'll happen. Remember, it's all in your head. What you believe will happen. If you want to get rid of that weight and throw it to the trash and never have it come back again, you just got to be telling it that. And to make the other changes. So you don't decide. Decide on the thing, I think. Linda, I would start, if it were me, on the thing that either hurts me the most and I want to change the most, or something that I feel I can accomplish easily to kind of get my momentum going. How about you? What would you do?
No, exactly. I think I would do that. Either hurts me the most or I'm most dissatisfied or disillusioned with. Start there.
Yeah. So here we got the 7 steps we want you to take between now and the next time we meet. And you can read it here. You can come back to this as many times as you need. But like we said, you need to decide right here, right now. We know you hate decisions. We know you may not know where to start, but you need to figure it out now. Now.
You know, one of the key things on this list, Mark, quite frankly, is prioritizing. I think that everyone should just start randomly writing stuff down that they want to change, that they want to make a change, and then start prioritizing it. And I think what you're going to find is a lot of the things you list are similar. And so then when you go back to your list and start prioritizing, you're going to find that the list may be even easier to accomplish. But just pick the one thing. And if you can't pick one thing, close your eyes and just point to the page. And then that's the thing that you're going to work on. But do it now. Don't wait until, I'll just do it in a couple of days, or I'll start this Monday. Monday is a good day to start new things, so I'll start it on Monday. And Monday comes, I forgot. Well, that means that I'll just wait till the next. Do you get what I'm saying? You can excuse yourself into being the very same today that you were last year, or the very same a year from now that you are today, or you can start taking even the babyest of steps right here, right now, and start moving forward.
Yeah, and Linda, I just don't even know. Like and we talked about this before, like I don't even know how people get to so bad that they are. Like we're somewhere along the line, didn't figure out that this is really critical and you need to make adjustments. And I know that there's things that I don't want to bring this into, like we know there's drug addiction, alcohol, food, emotional things. Those are things that you really should have a professional, and you should seek that help to get that done. I'm just talking about the people who just aren't happy. Like I hate my life. Like I hate when people say that, because that just makes lazy ass. That's all I want to do, point and go lazy ass, because that's all that is. You know, we can talk till we're blue in the face, but it's you that's got to actually do something. We can't make you do anything at all.
Exactly. I mean, it has to come from within each of you, and just one step. How did we get where we are, or how did we I think a lot of it boils down. Let's just go back, and I have nothing against our education system, Mark. But if you were try to think back and remember, at least in school, you had somebody telling you what to do and when to do it. And then once you become an adult, maybe you don't have that organization in your mind anymore, and you don't have that somebody telling you, okay, now this is your next step and this is your next step. No, this is life. There really is no true manual to life, and we have to figure it out on our own. We have to figure out what's best for us, because we are individuals, even though we're all connected and part of the big whole universe. We are still individual representations of that. We're here to experience life through our own eyes. And so, Mark, I think sometimes maybe we just get so overwhelmed trying to do so many things all at once that we do nothing. And then nothing piles up on nothing, piles up on nothing, piles up on nothing. And then all of a sudden we're saying, I hate my life, because we don't know what direction we're going to go. Okay, so Mark and I are here saying, all right, we're going to give this to you. We're going to help you. Step one, get out your journal. Write down the changes that you want to make. Write down the things that you don't like, and then reverse it. Okay, if I don't like this about myself, what do I like, or what would I want? Write it down. This is going to be your blueprint. This is going to be your how-to next steps. But the action, the decision to do this has to come from you. That's all you have to do. Make the decision to do this. Step one, done. Check it off your list. Step two, start writing. Step three, start taking action, any action you want. Just any action. And then look back on it and say, hey, I took that step. Yay, woohoo me.
And we definitely want to hear from you. Definitely. Leave us a message. We're on Facebook. We've got our sites that you can find us on When the Shift Hits the Fan on Facebook. And leave a comment. The show will be up there, and let us know. How did this help you? What else do you need? Because we're just going to keep going. We're just going to keep going until the whole world is as happy as we are.
Woohoo!
We're not going to quit unless we die first. And well, then you're on your own. So,
yeah,
well, Linda,
in for ear somehow.
yeah, we've used up just about an hour here, and hopefully a little piece of this, if it's just one little piece or maybe all of it, is going to help you move your life forward. We wish you the very best, and we want you to feel that you are worthy of having the very best. So that's what I have for them tonight, Linda.
Well, I will tag team onto that, Mark. Each and every one of you is a magnificent human being, made by a creator, whatever you want to name it. So let that magnificence shine through. There is no excuse that you can ever give to this great creator of us as human beings that will make you any less in anybody's eyes but your own. So realize your magnificence.
Awesome. Love it, Linda. Love it. So from Mark here in Canada, good night, everyone.
And from Linda here in Florida, good night. Good night.